How to finally nail your YouTube strategy as a B2B or SaaS company. I'm sitting down with Samu, who runs one of the fastest growth YouTube agencies right now. He's working with the likes of RB2B and some huge SaaS companies. We're going to talk about exactly where many companies go wrong with their YouTube strategy, why you need it in 2026 and beyond, and how it can fuel the rest of your B2B marketing ecosystem so you can start nailing long-form videos to drive mindshare, pipeline, and revenue. Let's dive in. Samu, welcome.
Thank you for having me, mate.
Give us a quick intro for anyone that doesn't know about yourself and agency.
So we are a YouTube agency. We do organic YouTube videos fully done for you. So we handle everything apart from the recording, and our clients are mainly B2B SaaS companies and service companies. So like agencies, that's kind of what we focus on and what we've gotten really good at over the last couple of years.
Thank you, sir. So I love to start most interviews, especially face-to-face, with just big mistakes. Like, what are some of the biggest frustrations, issues, painful mistakes that you see B2B tech service SaaS companies making when it comes to YouTube time and again? Ultimate red flags that they need to stop from today.
Yeah, the biggest one is probably not focusing on it, because like most SaaS companies use YouTube as like a video storage platform. Like they have ads, demo videos, and they just like dump it out there like without any real strategy, without any thoughts behind them. And that's like a big mistake. The thing with YouTube is that you need to treat it as an actual sales channel if you want to get results from it. Sure, you can use it as a video storage platform, but then you won't see like any real results from it, and there's no point in doing it. But if you can actually focus on it and handle all the components of it, which we'll be getting into later, if you can handle all of the parts of it, like it's one of the most powerful channels right now. But you definitely need to have like a specific strategy for it, and not just like re-upload the ads you do or re-upload the demo videos you do, because that won't work and won't get you any results.
What do you feel is the real benefit from a YouTube strategy? Because I think, like, I run SEO for a bunch of SaaS and tech companies. I think there's a lot of misconceptions with YouTube, a bit like LinkedIn. Like, many people say LinkedIn ads are expensive. Many people say, like, YouTube doesn't work for me. A bit like they say SEO doesn't work for me. So basically what they mean is I've tried one tactic once and it didn't work. I guess what I'm trying to ask is what should be their mindset before they jump into kind of building out a strategy and a tactic? Like, what should be the initial mindset that they have in mind?
Yeah, definitely a good question. Yeah, what I've seen is like many companies just hire a random video editor and call it a day with YouTube, and then they try it for a couple of years and they see no results, of course, because they just hired a random freelancer and they say that, okay, YouTube doesn't work. I look at it in a way where there's like two main benefits of YouTube that I see with most of our clients. One of them is just having in mind that like YouTube is the second largest search engine after Google. Everyone is on YouTube. No matter if you think, you're special and you have like a very specific audience, like they are on YouTube. Like, trust me, if they exist, they are on YouTube. So because of that, there's a consistent demand from your ICP. Chances are that your ICP actively searches for certain topics, actively watches YouTube and certain topics. So we really need to make sure that we are, with the YouTube videos we are creating, we are getting in front of those types of people. Now, it varies niche by niche how much the demand there is. There are certain niches where there's just so much demand and you can get like tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of views per video. But there are certain topics, there are certain niches where it's a lot slower, and you have to be mindful of that. Obviously, you don't want to have any unrealistic expectations, but you just know that your ideal clients are on YouTube. So it's definitely worth trying to get in front of them. The other part where I see YouTube is helping overall is just the entire content and B2B marketing ecosystem that you have. Most companies will run ads, most companies will do outbound, they will do like LinkedIn content, they will do SEO as well. And YouTube fits very well into this entire ecosystem. One thing that YouTube has that other channels don't really have is the aspect that it's long form, it's face-to-face because it's video, it has sound as well. So it has like all the components to build trust. Whereas with like a written post, it can only go so far. With also a short form post, it can only go so far. With YouTube, it's kind of all out, so you can make it as long as you want, you can make it as valuable as you want, you can just build the most trust with it. So because of that, when you like place it into your already existing marketing ecosystem, whether it's ads, whether it's LinkedIn content, or it's anything else, it complements them very, very well, because people might find you on cold email, they might find you on LinkedIn, but when they see your YouTube channel, they will see like, okay, you have like dozens of videos going super deep into the topic, you're sharing your expertise, you're actual like a human being, you have a face, you have a voice, all of that, you have a personality. It just gives that entire package that makes it much more likely for them to open a call, to buy from you. So those are the two kind of benefits I see with YouTube.
Real quick, if you want to start fueling your sales team with a steady stream of leads, demos, or booked calls from SEO and organic search across AI and Google, why not grab a call with myself over at breakingb2b.com? We can chat through exactly how SEO could potentially help your business drive a steady stream of inbound through organic search. Head over to breakingb2b.com or hit the link in the description below. Right, back to the video. You mentioned something interesting as well about niches. Like when I'm talking about SEO and AEO, I often talk about SaaS companies, B2B companies falling into the traffic trap. Do you think that's similar at YouTube, but views opposed to visitors to your website? Do you think sometimes folks get too focused on views at all costs opposed to going for like the right type of prospects actually looking at your video content?
Most definitely. I see this a lot. In our agency, the main thing we optimize for is leads, because we work with businesses. Our business goal is to like make more money. So the service that we do for them is to help them make more money, generate more leads, etc. And many companies, as you said, like make the mistake of focusing on views, focusing on other vanity metrics like subscribers. And how we look at like views and all of that is just as another data point, but not the final metric that we optimize for. The final metric will always be lead amount and lead quality. So like how we can best types of leads and the most amount of them. And that's very important because getting the most amount of views and getting the most amount of leads are like require two different strategies. So you shouldn't fall into the trap of like just focusing on views, because what that will make you do is creating videos that are too broad, creating videos that are for not exactly your ICP, that might attract the wrong type of audience. And sure, it might feel good that you have like tens of thousands of views, but like you won't make money from it. So it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. So it's a lot better to like really focus on your ICP. We with all of our clients, we just hone in on focusing on okay, who they're actually targeting, and just really focusing on those types of people's problems, pain points, desires even, and then creating videos that are around those. And that's what we've seen just generates the best results on YouTube. So that is super important to really know like you're not in it with the goal as like, for example, with Mr. Beast, like you're not trying to be the next Mr. Beast. You're not trying to go viral. You're trying to really just like find your ideal customers, make them trust you, and then make them book a call with you or sign up for your software, whatever. So that's really how we think about it.
Makes sense. I suppose if a company's tuning in so far and they're thinking like this all resonates, makes sense, I want to start driving kind of qualified meetings, calls, signups, or I get stuck into a YouTube strategy, what are the first things that they should consider when they're kind of building out a bit of a playbook before they get stuck in?
Yeah, great question. So what we start out with always is the strategy side of things. The step zero here is just really focusing on their ICP and the customer research. So from our clients, whenever we start working with them, we get all of that information. So who they are targeting, their pain points, their desires, what type of companies they are, if they are B2B, really just getting all of that information, because that will be crucial and that will determine everything else we do. And after that, we just really focus on outlining a strategy where we have the exact video ideas and know what type of videos we have to create if we want to get in front of these people and we want to actually reach them and then nurture them and convert them. So what we do here is a couple of things on YouTube. What is very important is competitor research. So competitor research is something we always do with our clients. For some niches, there are a lot of competitors, and you will find a lot of competitors, a lot of data around like, okay, what's already working in your niche, what type of hooks, what type of packagings, what type of titles, thumbnails, all of that stuff. And you can get a lot of inspiration from that, see what's already working. And this usually makes scaling just 10 times faster rather than just trying to reinvent the wheel, which is really sort of a cheat code. Other than that, we also do keyword research. It's not like with Google. With Google, there are like certain tools that tell you exactly what are the different like keywords, the search volumes and demands. With YouTube, it's a little bit trickier. You have to try different keywords, look at, okay, what are the videos that come up, their views, are there outliers on the specific channels or not. But we do that kind of process as well to like just go gauge the intent and like see what's the intent and also what's the volume of search and the demand for each of the topics that we would go for. And using all of that, that's how we really like create a step-by-step plan of like, okay, what are the first videos that we have to create, what are the videos for the second month, and we create like a game plan that is like tailored to how we can find the right type of people and how we can convert them as well.
Nice. Love to hear it when customer research is the backbone for their strategy. I talk about this a lot, but I think a lot of B2B marketing just completely skips it and then kind of wonders why it falls flat. So that makes sense. So then when it comes to, I guess, actually you've kind of built this framework, you've built a bit of a roadmap when you're actually getting stuck in, and you or your team, or if you're a solo founder, you're kind of doing the talking head videos, like what are the things that you should consider and actually kind of shooting and getting the footage together?
Yeah, for sure. So to be very honest with you, as you know as well, like YouTube is not an easy platform. It's not like you just write a couple LinkedIn posts and you post it. Like YouTube is a platform where first of all you have the strategy that I've explained, then you have to take care of the scripting of like how you will structure the video, what you will say, etc. Then you have to think about how you will record it. Then you have to think about all the post-production, so like the editing, the thumbnail, all that stuff. So that's why many B2B companies have problems with YouTube, and it's hard for them to like get started. But that's also why it's a huge opportunity, because there's a lot, smaller competition. So to action steps of like how to actually handle all of these steps, it's very hard to do it in-house unless you have like a specific content team that has like at least a strategist, a thumbnail designer, and an editor, but preferably like a couple more people in terms of like scripting and all that other stuff. So if you have that, that's great, but most companies don't have that. So the options there really are, first one is hiring a couple of freelancers. That's kind of the cheaper option, which can work in some cases, but it's very hard to first of all find these right type of freelancers. You have to go through a lot of people. There are a lot of mediocre editors, thumbnail designers, and many times they don't really understand the B2B landscape because there's just it's a lot different than like B2C or other spaces. But that's like the one way to go about it, is try to find those freelancers. The other challenge here is that it's hard to then manage them. So you have to like quality check all of their work. You have to talk with them, communicate them, all of that stuff. So that's one option for companies that are maybe on the budget with this. Another option is, I'm biased here, but it's like hiring a YouTube agency. So that's another option. I'll talk about it just generally, but how YouTube agencies work is they basically handle all of that. So you just have to like record the footage, send it over, and they handle like all the planning and scripting beforehand, and then all the post-production, the distribution after. That's a good option because it still is more cost effective than hiring your own internal team in most cases in terms of like resources, but it's fully handled. So you don't have to quality check. You don't have to worry about anything else other than just obviously paying the agency. So those are the main ways we see that B2B companies are making YouTube work.
I'd like to know, is there a bit of a recipe? So when it comes to, you mentioned earlier, we talked about the research, we talked about reviewing competitors, we talked a bit about strategy. You mentioned kind of many companies fall flat when it comes to actually the format of the video itself and like hiring editors or trying to do in-house or messing around, just not hitting the mark. Is there a recipe for a perfect YouTube video when it comes to like hook, body content, steps, CTA, closing, ending?
Yeah, for sure. So I'll give away the sauce here. How we do that, like the first step is just coming up with the ideas. With ideas, it's very niche specific or like what works, but generally you want to structure the video ideas in a way where you focus on, first of all, like more top of funnel content, not top of funnel in a way where it's like irrelevant to your ICP, but in top of funnel in a way where you're attracting a lot of your ICP and a lot of those people, and you make it like quite relevant for all of those people. These can be like how-to videos, really like educational videos that are like easy to consume, not super long, so like 8 to 15 minutes. And that's really like the top of funnel. Then you do middle of funnel videos, which are like harder to consume videos, a little bit longer, but you provide a lot more value and you're a lot more in-depth. This will be for people that are a lot more interested further down the funnel. And then the last one is bottom of funnel, where it's either case study overviews, customer interview, or client interviews, and those can work very well to just like make that last push and push the customer over or push the lead over to actually go ahead, take the next step, book a call, sign up, etc. And that's how we like to structure the strategy side of things. And once you have the strategy in terms of scripting, what's very important in structuring the video is to make sure that the hook is not too long. Like you just want to, in the hook, is social proof, so you're like actually a trusted individual about a certain topic, and explain what the video will be about, so you make them interested in like hearing more and just really learning and getting that value delivered to them in that video, so they actually keep watching. And once you have that, like you just want to get into the value, especially in B2B. Like you don't want to sit there for like minutes just talking about, oh, in this video I will do this and this, and just talking about random stuff. Like you want to get into the value. In terms of call to action, that's a very important part, because call to actions will drive the leads that you have from YouTube, so you definitely want to nail this. The best way we found call to actions to work, and the highest converting version or way to do call to actions, is to do 2 call to actions in each video. One at around the 33% mark, so like the first sort of third of the video, and this will be really like a softer, shorter call to action, really just for people that are like already trust you, they are ready to take the next steps. You just want to like scoop them up and just like, get them to take that next step. But then you will have another call to action at the very end of the video, which will be a more direct, little bit longer call to action, and those will be really for like when you've successfully delivered value in the video, you nurture them, you made sure that they see you as an expert, then you can make that more aggressive call to action about your offer. And with these 2 call to action, it's working perfectly to create videos that are like actual sales assets, and that can really work on generating leads. And then there will be other stuff like the video editing, the thumbnails and all that. I could talk about those for ages. A couple of main things with thumbnails, because thumbnails are very important. Like the packaging of the video is around like 60-70% of the performance right now on YouTube, or like, it really determines everything. What's really important with thumbnails is to make sure that they are very easy to be understood. So like it's very easy to understand them. You don't want to overclutter them. Not too many words, like 4 words at maximum. The rule of thumb is just maximum 4 words. The fewer the better. A couple of main colors, contrasting colors, really make it pop. Big face on you, preferably your face who's actually in the video. Like that's the best way. And we're just making it very eye-catching but very simple. You don't want to make it overwhelming. You want to make it like just they glance at it and they understand what the video is about, and they just get interested from that. So that's the main things that we focus on when creating a YouTube video, sort of like the main rules that we go about when creating YouTube videos that actually sell.
Love it. And let's wrap up with, you talked about B2B marketing ecosystem earlier. Like, how can this, for folks that are thinking, okay, so I'm interested, I understand, like I get the strategy. How can this feed into everything else I'm doing, whether I'm running SEO or whether I'm running ads or I'm doing LinkedIn or I'm doing founder brand? Like, how can this kind of help and fuel and reinforce the other marketing work that I'm doing?
Yeah, that's a very, very important part. And what we focus on here really is like whenever you do YouTube videos, you want to push it out to as many of your other channels as possible, because your YouTube videos will be your most powerful sales assets. Like that's just how it is. Like those long form videos will be more powerful than any LinkedIn post you can make, any newsletters you can write. Like really, that's the highest converting sort of content that you can have. So you want as many eyeballs from your other channels as possible. What we do here and what we like to do is just pushing it out first of all on LinkedIn. For B2B brands, it's like super relevant. Most of the B2B founders or B2B companies actually have a good LinkedIn presence. So what we found works best is creating posts that promote these YouTube videos. So like we write a LinkedIn post and then at the end we link it. So this way we get people curious to like watch the video, and then at the end they click on the links to actually like get the value and watch the video. And this way we can like drive those people you have on LinkedIn, get them to YouTube, get them more nurtured, and hopefully they take the next step to book a call or sign up. And that's one way to do it. The other way we like to do it as well is just promoting it on your newsletter or for your email list. So whenever you have like an email list or newsletter, you can create certain, whenever you write an email, you can put like a plug at the end of like, by the way, I just made a YouTube video about XYZ, click here to watch. And that's like a great way to like funnel those people to a YouTube video, and then obviously, as I said, like convert them. Those are a couple of ways, but another really cool way, which I use personally, I know use as well, is just before sales calls, sending a couple of specific YouTube videos to people. You can have it as like an automated flow. You can do it manually, whatever. But those work very well to like warm people up before sales calls or demo calls, because you can send like case study videos, you can send client interviews, you can send process breakdowns, and really when they like watch it before the sales call, like it's a day and night of a difference in terms of how much they trust you, how much they know about you, how educated they are. So there are a lot of ways to like really just use it across your marketing ecosystem, but these are a couple of my favorites.
Yeah, I can completely agree with most of the things you've said, especially the last part. Like if you've got a prospect that's kind of semi-bought in and you've said, look, maybe you send your proposal and you've got a sales call maybe a couple hours prior to, or a couple hours after rather, sending that email, and you say, look, watch this walkthrough that's 20 minutes and then we can go through in a sec. If they've consumed that, the layer of trust that they're going to build with you over maybe 2 or 3 other agencies they're evaluating that haven't kind of taken that effort to record that particular content is almost unrivaled. So I think that's a big play. Not only that, but it also feeds into kind of your SEO strategy and kind of gives you a boost elsewhere. So appreciate the breakdown, Sammy. Thanks very much for coming on this cold winter's podcast session, enjoying the views, and do tell everyone, for anyone that's kind of ready to have a chat with you, what's the best way to get in touch?
Yeah, thanks for having me. And yeah, the best way is to just through my LinkedIn. So I have my LinkedIn profile. We can link it in the description. So that's the best way. I also have a website, so we can link that as well. And yeah, whoever is interested, I'm always free to like hop on a call, chat more about like how we usually work, etc. But yeah, thanks for having me, mate.
Cheers, mate.